Nothing ever ends, except for my quest to own every format of Watchmen. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, I'm Jordan with The Brave and the Boys, and you may have seen this video previously where we covered every format of Watchmen, but here is officially every format of Watchmen, every collected edition, everything from what is currently available and out of print to things that are extremely rare, and I will definitely touch on this in a little bit. Now, what is Watchmen for those that don't know? Watchmen is a 12-issue maxi series written by Alan Moore, illustrated by Dave Gibbons, published by DC, originally for a Elseworlds title, then to Vertigo, and now it is technically just DC at this point. Watchmen has been in print ever since it was released, or finished releasing back in 1987, and we can find it in a wide variety of formats, all the way down from the newest compact edition, all the way to the largest, well, we'll save that for the end of the video. Let's jump in to our very first format and the smallest one. Now, starting off with our two most affordable and smallest versions of Watchmen are going to be the DC Compact and the Standard Trade Paperback. Now, the DC Compact is the newest one that just released earlier this year in 2024. This is the smallest format, being the compact size. It's basically the same size as a manga tankobon, and we'll have some comparative photos showing this to the standard trade paperback. Now, this has been in print ever since 1987 when the series wrapped up. This has been perpetually in print forever, and I think there's somewhere in the 30th printings version, which mine unfortunately does have the HBO logo on the top. If you have a previous edition from the 1980s all the way through to 2005, you'll have the original colors, because in 2005 they redid the coloring for the Absolute edition. Now, we'll touch about that a little bit later, but these two are going to be your most affordable, coming in at about $10 and $25. Now, it depends where you look at. You might find a little bit better pricing elsewhere, but for the most part, this is the best and most affordable way to read Watchmen. If you've never read it before, pick up either one of these. I would suggest the trade paperback just because it is a little bit easier to read, especially the proverbs section. Whereas this, a little too small for me, honestly, but that's also because I like to read the absolute of this book. But let's move on to our standard size hardcovers. Now, here are going to be our standard size hardcovers. We have three here, although there have been more versions of standard size hardcovers printed out. And we're going to start here with our most economical. I should preface that all three versions of these are going to be currently out to print. This is going to be the 08 reprinting of the standard size hardcover. The very first printing of a standard size hardcover, though, has to come from this 1988. Very rare, and luckily I was able to get my hands on one for not the worst pricing out there. This is the Graffiti Designs edition of Watchmen. So this here is very special, near and dear to my heart. This did come out, like I said, in 1988. It does have the original colorings as it was printed in the 80s. This is the very first version of Watchmen to receive minutes and seconds as extras. The other version of this book that was out at the time was the trade paperback, which collected just the basic 12 issues, which are collected in here, but with some extras. This was later used as well for the Absolute edition, as that as well collects minutes and seconds. Now, back on over to here. This is the 08 reprinting of the hardcover. There are different versions of it, so if you are looking for another rare version, you had to look for the book club edition that did come out about the same time as this one here. The book club edition is out there. It's not for me. I am more than happy with just this standard hardcover that comes with a dust jacket. This here is going to be a newer version. You can still find it out there, although same thing, it is out of print. This is the DC Modern Classics that comes with a slipcase. This is actually extremely gorgeous. I'm a big fan of its design, both on the front and rear of the cover itself. This is going to collect everything that you'll find in any standard size hardcover for Watchmen, just in a little bit better build quality. These can be a little expensive to find. You might see them around like $35 to $50 or so in the aftermarket, but if you can get your hands on one and you don't own Watchmen in any other format, I could suggest this. Other than that, I mean, I'll definitely look at some of our other picks, so let's move up to the next trim size, which is the Deluxe Edition. Okay, the Deluxe Edition. Now, both of these are going to be the same trim size. The difference has to do with how the issues are broken up. So we have here the traditional Deluxe Edition that you can find at DC. It collects all 12 issues and even some extras as well, which is really cool. If I remember correctly, it's the same extras that are found within the Absolute minus a handful of sketches. Over here is going to be our box set. Now, the box set, really cool. This is currently my preferred way to read Watchmen, as it breaks up each issue into its own book. So here we have issue 1. You'll notice how extremely thin it is, and that's because it is just the one issue. You will find the rest of them 11 through 2 through 12 inside of the box set. There's no extras to the box set whatsoever. The end of the issue is just the end, and that's about it. But this is super fun, easy to read, and Jake and I were doing a readathon, a monthly readathon with each issue of Watchmen, which hopefully we'll have a third one to come out relatively soon. These two are phenomenal ways to read Watchmen. This is still currently available, and I believe still in print. Relatively affordable as well, as this was the very first way that I read Watchmen, and they have fixed a spine issue from the older editions of these. The current edition does lay flat, and I highly suggest to pick that one up. These not as readily available anymore, but Jake and I did end up getting some from Ollie's through one of our friends that has an Ollie's nearby him for a relatively good price, so you could definitely keep your eye out for this on the aftermarket. All right, let's move up to the largest current in-print size of Watchmen, which is the Absolute Edition. Okay, so this is currently the best format that is being released for Watchmen. This is the Absolute Edition. Now, I do have to say thank you to Jake, as he did purchase the Absolute Edition for me as a birthday gift. So, by all means, I'm very appreciative because it helped complete my entire collection of Watchmen, essentially. But this here is going to be the best format. It collects all 12 issues in the absolutely biggest size possible for print pages. We'll go over the exclusion there towards the very end, but this is going to have all the extras, all the sketches that you can find for Watchmen. It is a great value, especially because you can pick this up on organic price books, where if you use code Braveboys, you get an additional $2 off your order, or if you use code Braveboyssit, you can get 5% off your entire order when ordering 4 or more books. But this here is going to be everything for Watchmen. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful, and I still haven't read it in this version. I will go back and reference to certain images that I need to for videos, but other than that, I mean, I'll definitely be giving it a read this holiday season. Okay, let's move over to some special editions that go along with Watchmen, as well as some appreciation of the art. Okay, so I'm gonna try to do this not in a rapid section, but to go over each one with at least a little information. I'm gonna start off with the one right dead center. So this is gonna be Watchmen the Companion. Now, what this book collects is going to be a collection of the very first original Watchmen RPGs that were published back in the 80s and 90s. This is going to have the rule books that were included, as well as some prologues that were used for each character, and it gives a little bit extended backstory within each proposed character within the Watchmen universe. It's a really cool book if you're into extras and seeing a little bit more of the world built out. I would definitely recommend this, and you can pick it up at OPB. It is still currently in print. Moving from this, we are going to have the Watchmen Noir Edition. So this does collect all 12 issues of Watchmen, but completely stripped of John Higgins' coloring. John Higgins' coloring looks gorgeous, beautiful, regardless if you're looking at the original coloring or the modern colors, but I still can highly recommend this if you're looking for that appreciation of Dave Gibbons' art. Big praises here. Moving on, this book here in the back is actually the same trim size as the Noir Edition, but the actual comic is a little bit smaller. The reason being is this is the annotated edition. So this is going to collect a variety of different annotations of each issue that the author was able to put together from different references and sources to give you more context within the Watchmen universe. I love reading this version in order to get a better depth that doesn't pull me too far away from the reading. What's really cool is that it does break it down from page to page, panel to panel, of any significance within the foreground or the background of the images. This is going to be entirely in black and white, just like the Noir Edition, but as I stated, the art is a little smaller to make room for those annotations. Moving on over to this side, we have the Watchmen watching the Watchmen. This has Dave Gibbons' blessing and assistance in piecing together this book. So this is going to be a lot of clippings, artwork, designs, iconic images from Watchmen put into one beautiful oversized book. This did get released back in 08 with, I believe, actually this was a tie-in for the movie at one point. But yes, high recommendations if you love art and Dave Gibbons art in general. This here, immediate pickup. It doesn't go for too much on the aftermarket either, so take a look. Now, the largest book within my collection for Watchmen is going to be Dave Gibbons' Watchmen Artifact Edition. This here was a limited release book from IDW that collects some of the money shots, quote unquote, from Dave Gibbons of Watchmen. Now, they were able to track down not every page like the Batman Artist Edition, but a lot of the cool, over the top, amazing, beautiful design, original artworks from Dave Gibbons and put into this book. You unfortunately cannot read all 12 issues as it only has maybe about 6 to 8 different shots from each issue. But my God, it's gorgeous. It's in the original art print size, and you gotta go find it if you're a true diehard Dave Gibbons fan. I was lucky enough to get a good deal from one of my guys over at the local comic book shop that I visit. Because this one is going to be out of print. It does go for about cover on the aftermarket. If you appreciate Watchmen to the extent that I have, which is maybe a little too much, then this is going to be the right one for you. And that is every format of Watchmen. Now, that's going to wrap everything up for us today. If you like this kind of content, like the video down below. Comment as well as if you think I should have picked up the book club edition, like Jake keeps insisting. I'm telling him it's just another standard size hardcover. And like, subscribe to this channel if you like this kind of content. You'll see a lot more of us, especially for the Invincible version of this video that will be coming out very soon. Well, if not, it'll be linked down below in the description. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today. Keep reading and stay bold. See ya.